Hiya, how you doing? If you're new, then please consider subscribing if you like what I do. My name is Hinny. I am an intuitive tarot reader and spiritual astrologer. Also, by the way, I want you to write in the comments if you have already been experiencing this new moon in Sagittarius sort of vibe. Of course, it's Sagittarius season. We're like, more than halfway through Sagittarius season now. I think from tomorrow we'll be in the last 10 days. But especially if you're like Cancer rising, if you're a Cancer sun, you're probably already quite like in tune with the lunar cycles. So let us know. Another thing I should say is I've mentioned this in a couple of videos already, but I'm collaborating with my good friend Alvia over at Inspiring Alien Creations. And we have this channel, this brand new channel called Mercurial Mystic. Then go and head over and give us a subscribe if you like what we do. It would really mean a lot to us because we're just starting this out, and we have 2 episodes already. Episode 0, which is an introduction to us, and episode 1, which is on aliens. And if we get to 100 subscribers, we're going to do some like fun dancing. We're going to do some interpretive dances of all the planets. And if you are a Sagittarius sun, you might like to take advantage of an offer that I am giving you, which is 20% off all of my services for the entirety of Sagittarius season. So if it's your birthday season, if you're a Sag sun, get in touch during Sag season. Book yourself a reading and you get that discount. Or you might like to buy a little gift for a Sag sun, relative, loved one. New moon in Sagittarius, December 14th, 2020, and it's a solar eclipse as well. So it's not just a regular run-of-the-mill new moon, it's even more important because this has a solar eclipse going on as well. And basically the moon and the sun are both conjunct the South Node, which is currently in Sagittarius. There's like a 6-month effect. So if you're setting an intention, you might like to set an intention for something to happen in 6 months or in the build-up. But also, I think this is going to be especially deep for Sagittarius rising people. So if you're Sag rising or Sag ascendant, they mean the same thing. And also, if you have any planets in Sagittarius, I believe it's 22 degrees, this new moon. So if you have anything at 22 degrees or really close to 22 degrees of Sagittarius, then this new moon is super duper important to you as an individual. And I really want to hear comments from you. But also, if you have anything at 22 degrees of the other mutable signs, so there are 4 mutable signs, right? You've got did I say that right? Yes, 4. You've got Pisces, Gemini, Sag, and what is wrong with me today? Virgo, yeah, me, Virgo. So Pisces, Sag, Gemini, Virgo, they're all the mutables. So if you have any planets or other significant natal astrological placements then at 22 degrees, then this is also quite important for you. Especially if that's the Gemini. So if you have anything 22 degrees Gemini, this new moon is actually opposing that particular 22 degree or near 22 degree placement. So new moons are about intentions, right? Just very generally, very broadly. They are about intentions. I'm thinking actually of making a video on like what are full moons and what are new moons, so that in every moon watch new moon, full moon episode, I don't need to explain my interpretation of what a new moon or full moon is generally. So look out for that, it's coming. But this new moon is of course a great time, I believe, okay, for setting an intention. And those intentions, let me just turn my phone off because it's distracting us, these notifications. Setting intentions towards things, or there are also moments where you get like fresh and intense feelings about something. So it's really similar in that respect to the full moons. The full moons are also about fresh, not usually fresh, but like intense feelings, culminating is often used when we talk about full moons. And the new moon is kind of similar with the intensity. So being in Sagittarius, this has given us themes of like freedom. So setting your intentions towards freedom or like intense feelings, fresh new feelings related to freedom could be a theme that crops up for you around this new moon, and that it's going to be like a theme over the next 6 months. So like, wow, I'm finally free, or I'm going to be free in about 6 months. Yay, yay, yay. That kind of feeling. It's really positive, I think. Much more than the full moon in Gemini that we had recently. Or full moons in general, which are like letting go. This is like freshness, newness, setting some intention and feeling like kind of giddy, confident, optimistic. This is especially bolstered actually when when Saturn and Jupiter enter Aquarius later in December this year of 2020. So do pay attention to that as well. So around about December 21st, December 20th, 21st, we get both of those planets finally, I think both of them, yeah, entering Aquarius. So there's going to be also this shift from the Capricornian cardinal earth energy right into air, and it's fixed air, Aquarian air. And so we're going to feel collectively this shift in the energy, for the good, bad or ugly. We're going to feel this shift. But whenever like a planet goes into Aquarius, I often would interpret this as like freedom energy as well, really similar to Sag. So Sagittarius does sextile Aquarius naturally. So sextiling energies, sextiling signs are, you know, where everything's just kind of like set up to happen. I think the new moon coupled with the later coming energy, which has always been approaching as Saturn and Jupiter got towards closer and closer to that Capricorn Aquarius cusp. But once it does happen later in December, there's even more this feeling of breaking out, of freedom. Also, this like new moon in Sagittarius is going to give us, I think, this feeling of like pursuit. So pursuit of curiosities, asking questions with confidence, because Sagittarius is often about bravado, confidence, feeling gutsy, ballsy, whatever you want to call it, titsy. I don't know if I can say that, but whatever. And also you might like to see my latest videos on Hermes entering Sagittarius, so part of the Hawaii Hermes series that I'm doing, and also my December 2020 astrology video where I break down more generally Sagittarius season 2020 and those vibes. But also this is going to be a great time to commit to yourself and to get to know something or someone as well. Sagittarius is about knowing. Can I get to know you? You might like find that around this new moon, just in Sag season generally, that you like ask questions like, do you really love me? Like, what do you love about me? Like to your partner or to your friend or whatever. Like you might like just start outright shoot those questions out, like the bow and arrow, shoot the questions out. That's what Sag does all day. And so collectively we might be doing that in Sagittarius season. But in terms of the new moon, there might be some specific question or few questions that have to do with this pursuit of knowledge even, which is going to set off a sort of 6-month journey for some of us. Or in 6 months' time, that's when we're really going to feel that we are pursuing this new curiosity or pursuing this new knowledge of ours, however curiosity or knowledge is going to be construed for the individual. And also it's about brand new adventures, of course, because it's a new moon, and it's a very significant new moon, solar eclipse, and it's about travel. So a lot of us are literally going to be traveling. Now we do have the pandemic, but traveling and going like a huge extra mile. I feel like we're going to really be ignoring the naysayers. If you have any naysayers around you in relation to this intention, it's a good idea to like kind of ignore, because if it's your true set intention, if it really is something that resonates with you that you do want to pursue, you shouldn't let anyone or anything dissuade you. That's not like Sag season energy, right? Sag season energy is like pursuing the truth in that fiery way, believing and the convictions that you have and following those convictions. 2021 does mean that we have these broader energies, these overarching energies, which are those of caution and staggering, because we do have a rat year. We're still in the rat year and we have a pandemic. And so it's a very interesting year of caution and staggering, even in the fire seasons like Sagittarius season. But I do still think that come late December 2020, a lot of us will still get more venturing and more accommodating of risk, more calculated risks, because again, we are in the year of the rat. So I think even when we do want to like break boundaries, cross boundaries, like Sag loves to do, shoot those arrows, there's an element of caution or calculation about it all. So I've been saying on my channel for this 2020 Sag season, it's a very different Sag season to some others in the past, where It's more about keeping the flame, the little flame, the feeble flame in some cases. It's about keeping that feeble flame alive. And it's not about too much bravado or too much propagation, getting too into like the Nicki Minaj, just came to my head, but not like too Nicki Minaj, okay? We don't want the Nicki Minaj version of Sagittarius this season, necessarily. It's a bit more like, it's a little, or we want Nicki's like more philosophical songs. Nicki's more like reflective songs and lyrics. We want that side of Sag. Also, I think we're going to have confident affirmations of your beliefs and your politics cropping up around about now. Or again, in this 6-month period, or in about 6 months' time, you'll develop this confident affirmation of beliefs and even politics. Because Sag season is always a political season, even in this 2020-2021, right? Yeah, it's still going to be a little bit political, and it's still going to be hard for even the best of us to resist our personal politics and propagations because it's Sag. Now, we also will be having these new feelings of taking opposing people on and taking opposing concepts on. That's Sag season as well, but with a new moon in Sag and a very significant new moon in Sag. Be careful of really going full throttle when it comes to like these convictions of yours, because it can go very wild. It can get very wild. I think we're likely to be more, or to start off more on the covert or careful side, as I mentioned before. So some people will start a new phase of politicism. I think it's going to have some sense of being muted a little bit, or more like neutral somehow. And some people will kind of go overboard, as they always do in Sag season with this energy. The broader Sag season potential for propagation and arrogant religiosity. I've been seeing that recently, like arrogant proselytizing as well, and arrogant advocacy for idols, whether people want you to idolize them, or if people are selling someone else or some other set of texts or some other thing to be idolized. That just comes up all the time in Sag season. Also with this new moon in Sagittarius, it's going to be like personal commitments to yourself, to be more positive about life and to just live a little and like not to worry so much, especially once those 2 big planets hit Aquarius. We're going to feel much more like that, I think. Not to say that it's not going to be hard or strict in certain ways, but it's definitely going to have more of a freeing feel to it, which couples with this I'm going to live a little sort of feeling, or I'm just not going to worry that much sort of feeling that begins to accumulate in December. It could be a really nice moment for those people struggling with depression, actually. Some people also starting a whole new cycle of mental health healing. And, you know, remember, we are drinking, as I've been mentioning on this channel, we are drinking this coffee, right? Slowly. So we're not like guzzling it, to savor it, not even because the coffee's that hot, but to savor and to really like get the notes and let it like slowly awaken us. That's what we're doing spiritually as a collective in this 2020-2021 year. So do check out, by the way, if you're interested, my Mars direct video and my Neptune direct video. Those 2 planets recently went direct, and so that's where I talk a bit more about this coffee sort of analogy. More generally, again, we're keeping that flame alive in this particular Sag season. So it's not about like projection so much, or propagation so much, or being cocky so much. You'll find that you're probably like just overlooked or shot down more quickly and more harshly than before, especially with Saturn entering Aquarius. One really interesting thing that people don't seem to talk too much about, but Saturn in Aquarius is like, you can be unique, that's fine, but Saturn's like kind of really going to restrict those who fake uniqueness or fake authenticity, or are just performing something. So watch out for that, because Saturn comes down hard. You'll find that with like Aquarians that you know in your life, like Aquarians in your life, they have this really, you see that Saturn side of them, right? Most Aquarians probably in your life are super duper unique and quirky, right, out of the box, but they also have this other side of them that's very strict, sometimes even dogmatic, like detached is often used, but like you can see where even though there's uniqueness and room to play, when Saturn, because Saturn still rules Aquarius, there's this sort of clamp down energy that can happen the moment we take for granted Aquarian energy and we think it's just there for us to like mess around with. No, it's not. It's the 11th sign of the zodiac. It's the penultimate energy. It's not to mess around with. I'm expressing myself freely, authentically, so that you can as well, because we're all unique and we all should be able to do that freely and without what's the word? Without conviction, not conviction, without persecution. But if you fake your uniqueness and try to like proselytize through that uniqueness, especially in Sag season, no, I don't think it's going to be great. So yeah, what did I want to say? Last thing, yeah, also do check out my December 2020 astrology video, everyone, where I talk about this new moon conjunct Mercury in Sagittarius. And also the new moon is going to be opposing the North Node in Gemini, and the moon is going to be trining Mars in Aries, and also making a square to Neptune in Pisces. So there's quite a few transits, not transits, but like aspects occurring during this new moon. So it's a very, very significant new moon. You can check out my December 2020 astrology video for more info on that. And that will be that. That's all she wrote. My name is Hinny. If you're interested in a reading, you can look in the description below. I love you very much, Hinsters. Take care. Leave a comment. Let me know how you are feeling or how you're going to be interpreting this Sag new moon. Alrighty, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.